Hey everybody, how are you doing? Sorry for the delay. I was trying to turn on my podcast. Give me just a second. I'll turn on my little podcast. There we go. Hello everybody. This is Dr. Carmen Bryant and welcome to my YouTube channel and my podcast. I am the host of Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, and lately I've been making videos and I have ignored my Podbean, and I didn't mean to, my podcast. Sometimes I get so excited about coming on and talking and I just forget to grab the other phone so that I can record off a Podbean. But I wanted to come and revisit a topic that I have talked about in another video on my YouTube channel, and I have almost 500 videos, and I know a lot of times it takes a minute to scroll through all of them to find a topic that's interesting to you. But I wanted to revisit a topic. I was asked by one of my viewers to talk about triangulation. And so, not only do narcissists triangulate, but a lot of times people triangulate, especially when they're trying to get what they want, especially those that are manipulative or manipulative in nature. They triangulate. So what is triangulation? So if you think of triangulation, let's go and look at a narcissistic parent. Now, of course, like I said, it's not always narcissists that do it. People do it as well. But if you recognize it, you can apply it. That doesn't mean necessarily that the person was a narcissist. Let's talk about these narcissistic parents. Let's talk about triangulation like this. Let's say you have siblings and you have a narcissistic parent, dad or mom, whatever, whoever raised you, and let's say you have boundaries with your narcissistic parent, right? And there are certain things, even as an adult, certain things you have discovered about that narcissistic parent. You have discovered that they're very manipulative. They play this role behind the scenes, but they can't cross your boundaries. So you have boundaries, and the person that I'm speaking of, a parent, hates your boundaries. That's mostly what happens when people try to cross your boundaries. So you have boundaries. The other person doesn't like your boundaries, like your parent doesn't like your boundaries. So what they do is they will triangulate your siblings. And what they'll do is they'll take their time to talk to each one of your siblings and smear your name, basically. You're this horrible child. I'm an older parent. I can't believe, I'm the parent. You should do what I tell you to do. And when I say something and you shouldn't be arguing with me or disagreeing with me, or, and you're telling them like, but these are my boundaries. This is a no. This is whatever it is. Don't do that with my kids. Don't say that to my kids. Don't do this to me, but it's always, when they go back to your siblings, it's always how horrible you are. But they never tell your siblings how they push buttons or what they've done or the little undercurrents, the little secret things that they do. So they smear your names to your sibling. And what do your siblings do? Your siblings come back and they have something to say to you, to cause you to say something and to argue with them, or that now they're flying monkeys now. Now they're defending, that narcissistic parent. They're defending them, and that's the only parent you have, and whatever. And it's so sad because mom or dad is sad, and you're treating them this way, and I can't believe it. And they may get them to speak for them, and then even negative things. They say negative things about you as if you're this monster, and you may have not said anything to them. You may not have talked to them, but you're this monster. But come to find out, in the background, you have this narcissistic parent that's just starting stuff, that's saying things, that's just starting commotion and confusion and back and forth and getting people revved up, but the feeling, they get this attention, they get all this attention, and I can't believe that they would treat you this way, and you're right, woe is me, and, but in the background, they're the ones that have something negative to say. I'm tired of this mess, I'm tired of this, and you're thinking to yourself, I haven't said anything, I don't know what you're talking about. Or even if you bring up an idea or hey, have you ever thought about this? And what about the family and doing? I'm tired. They say a whole bunch of things in the background and you have no idea what's being said. But what happens is you kind of know the tension by the way that your siblings talk to you or the things that your siblings say. And you already know where it's coming from, and what you want to do is go straight for the jugular. And it forces your hand, because a narcissist wants to have positive or negative emotional reactions. you know, so you reaching out to contact that parent, to go off on the parent, to tell them, I know what you're doing, I know, and they're playing crazy like, you know, I don't know what you're talking about. You see, this is what I'm talking about. They've already set you up so that when you do go off on them, like, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is how she or he handles me, and I don't know what you're talking about. And you're like, you know exactly what's going on. Don't play me, you know, and now you've disrespected your parent. But guess what happened? You broke that no contact, or you broke that, you know, you contacted them and you gave them what they wanted, and they wanted some fuel, and it happened to be negative fuel. Now let's move into relationships or situationships with a narcissist. You could be married. And as you know, a lot of the narcissists, not all of them cheat, but you know, a lot of times the narcissists, especially the somatic ones that are pretty promiscuous and have side chicks or side dudes, you know, or secondary supply. They don't have to sleep with them. Secondary supply, one way or another, could be a parent, you know, whatever. You know, they tell all your business. So they're giving someone else all your information, and they're making themselves, you know, they're doing things, but they're projecting themselves onto you. So when they go and speak to these other people, they're actually describing themselves and how they conduct themselves. And now they're, well, you know, she's unreasonable, he's irrational, you know, and they try to, now they're pulling in people. And they're pulling in people, and they're becoming their flying monkeys, you know. And what happens is they tell all this stuff, you know, would you talk to her? Would you talk to him? You know, would you say something? And you get a phone call like, hey, can I talk to you, sis? Or, hey, can I talk to you, bruh? You know, what's going on? You know, and you're thinking like, what do you mean what's going on? And they're like, you know, Shaquan or Lucretia, you know, they called me and they said, or, you know, I'm not trying to be in your business. And you're thinking like, well, stay out my business. Or here you go. You start explaining yourself. Right? Here you go, explain yourself. And you know what? That's a lie. That has nothing to do with me. But they're so convinced, because narcissists are convincing. So they're so convinced that, you know, you're the bad person, and, you know, you're irrational. And I can tell by the way that you're talking, you're kind of fitting into the category of what he or she was talking about. You know, so now, you know, you're triangulated in, you know, and you're thinking like, why would you pull someone else? It's a triangle. It's a triangle. You two are in a relationship. They pull someone else in order to get what they want from you. Or let's say, for example, they have you know, the secondary supply, the side chick, the side dude, whatever. Now, of course, they're going to be telling the side chick or the side dude information about you and how horrible you are. And so what's happening? You know, they've got this person that they're sleeping with, or they're having an affair with, or they have a side relationship with. And what happens with that secondary supplier, that side chick, side dude? Of course, they're going to believe everything they say. And your wife and your husband or your girlfriend is so horrible, and you know, this is how they treat me, and I just can't really leave because of my kids, and, you know, he's not going to let me have my kids, or she's going to try to take my kids away from him. And they'll give you all this sad stories, because that's the game that they play when they have a side chick, you know. But they tell you all this kind of stuff to make you mad. And then what ends up happening is the side chick or the side dude ends up, you know, saying something to you, or calling you up, or getting into this argument with you, or making sure that you know that they're there. So that narcissist sets it up where he has or she has two people fighting over him, the attention of the narcissist. Two people fighting. You know, you may be the wife or the husband, like, first of all, what are you calling me for to talk about my husband? That's my friend, and I don't like my friend being handled that way, and you don't treat my friend like this, and he's told me. And you're thinking, I don't care if that's your friend or not, it's my husband. And first of all, this is our relationship, not yours. You know, and you're thinking like the audacity. But, you know, but you got this narcissist feeding them information, you know, and so here you are frustrated, you know, and you want to fight. Because that's normally what happens. You want to fight, and you go and fight the side chick, the side dude, but the side chick, side dude only doing whatever the narcissist allows them to do, right? Always. Now let's look at, for example, family members, right? So here you are in a situationship, I don't say relationship, with a narcissist, right? The whole family knows that they're a dog, a dirty dog. You know, female or male, but they know the habits of the narcissist. Everybody knows how this person is. Everybody that they grew up with, the parents know. The parents know what this narcissist is like. They know they done cheated. You know, you were in a relationship. You done talked to mother-in-law, father-in-law, you know, and you done had conversations. They done told you, I understand. You done talked to family members, you know, and they've talked like, you know, we praying for you and just hang in there, you know, whatever, you know. But then when you guys break up, all that time, you know, you get a divorce, you know, you could have been with them for 20, 30, 40 years. You know, what they do, they work very hard on their families who now have become flying monkeys. The one thing they will do to keep them loyal to them is to, you know, pay them the money, pay bills, buy them gifts, take them places. You know, they may, you know, whatever they can do to love bomb them real good. And this is family members, mothers, fathers, daughters, you know, sisters, brothers, you know, whatever. They work really hard on love bombing them and making them feel good. And then they're smearing your name all that time. You know, I understood, I did. And certain things, they'll take facts and mix it up with perfectly good lies. And so, you know, when you mix facts with lies, it is a lie. It's tainted. It is a lie. There may be truth in it, but now it's tainted with a lie. It's a lie. And so what they'll do is smear your name. You know, they've never liked you, and this is the problem that I ran into. And if you notice this, that's why she never called, or he never called, or, you know, they got something negative to say. Now, what they're doing is everything negative that they say is usually stuff that they've said about their own family. Negative stuff that they say, they projected on their own family. And of course, the family's not going to believe it because we family. That's not how we do. That's not how our family operates. But that narcissist dogs their own family. The narcissist doesn't have boundaries, you know, so they dog their own family. They always got something negative to say. But instead of taking responsibility of what they said, they'll flip it around in order to work, you know, on their behalf. And they'll say it comes from you. And so now there's friction between you and the in-laws, you know, because of the fact of what the narcissist said. And we're family, and, you know, expect us to be family. We done went through a lot, and, you know, you got to stick with me. And so you call them or you talk to them, and you notice there's some friction. You know, you notice there's some distance. They really don't want to have a lot to do with you. Or you can kind of tell by the way they look at you when you FaceTime them or something like that. And the first thing you're thinking is like, if you know the narcissist, to keep your feelings from being hurt, I already know what the situation is. I already know what I'm dealing with. I already know I can tell by the way that the family handles me, you know, that I already know something has been said. So you know what? You cut your losses. Oh, well, you know, if they want to have something to do with your kids, let them have something to do with your kids. You don't have to have anything to do with them. Ain't no loss. You know, that is his family or her family. And those are the flying monkeys and the smear campaign that they launched to make sure that he has as many people or she has as many people on their sides. That's that triangulation. And, you know, like I said, you know, they're looking at you cockeyed on the camera, or you can kind of tell by the way that they talk, you know, you're like, yeah, I already know what this is. And some of you are like, well, I got to fix it. I got to make sure that, you know, that I explain there's no point. You know, there's no point. These are flying monkeys. These are family members. These are people they have triangulated that are now all on their side. All because you decided to discard or you decided to leave. You know, she left me or he left me when I needed them the most. And you're thinking like, when was that? You know, I left you because you were cheating. You know, or when was that? You got caught again. Or when was that? You're abusive. You know, so what do you mean when I needed you the most? Please. You know, so you guys know that triangulation is real. It doesn't happen just with narcissists. It happens with everyday average people. If you have boundaries and people cross your boundaries, or if you find other people stepping into your lane, having something to say, you know how to cut it off. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to argue, you know, with every person that approaches you. You don't have to say something every time someone says something. The best way to handle toxic people is sometimes not say nothing at all. But some people, you know, a lot of times we have these urges to defend ourselves all the time. That's what you're accustomed to, being in these relationships or situationships where you always feel obligated or compelled to protect yourself, or it's not even protect yourself. You should protect yourself, but it's always, I got to explain myself. I got to make sure that everybody knows that you're lying. I got to explain myself because I don't want people to think I'm crazy. And sometimes you fall for that triangulation. Well, I'll just go ahead and do it because I don't want people thinking that that's the way that I am, the way that they said. You know what? For some people who are toxic, sometimes you just have to ignore them and pay them no attention. If it's not bothering your finances, if it's not bothering your job, you know, don't worry about it. Some friends are not your friends. Some friends are not meant to be your friends. Some friends were just mutual friends, but they were really his friends or her friends. You know, you cut it off, let it go. Family is family, you know, unless they prove any different, you know, let his family be his family, you know. Cut your losses. That's what makes it so painful, especially dealing with a narcissist in general. You know, then think about this too. Another thing I wanted to address is like when that narcissist has a new supply. And I said this in another video. There's a few reasons why they triangulate within a relationship or a new relationship. And one of those, well, some of those reasons, I'll give you some of those reasons, is that They have a new supply. So with that new supply, they're going to always make sure that new supply feels less than. And they say things about you, even in a smear campaign, where they get this new supply to side with them so that new supply will fight on their behalf. So they don't have to fight. They look innocent. And they love to watch two people fight, especially as a new supply and an old supply, to have them argue. They'll do things like, I'll give you an example, like the new supply may send something to the house for you and the kids or something like that because he or she is sending something, but they make sure that they leave a receipt in there with their name in it, on it. Or they may do things like making sure that they put, they write everything on the box to let you know that there is their handwriting. They do things to make sure that they give gifts, and they may send a card or something with they're saying something to your child because they're trying to invoke you. Number one, that shows you that the new supply has a very low self-esteem and is very insecure. And that narcissists make sure they keep them insecure because they always want to have some type of control, that you're not perfect and you're not, and that the old supply is better than you, even though the old supply is worse than you and you're better than the old supply. And then, of course, once again, I'm going to make sure I keep you in that position of, the old supply was better than you, to make sure that you always stay, on walking on eggshells. And so now you've got this new supply competing with the old supply, and the old supply, now triangulated. Now the old supply calling the narcissist like, get your girl, get your boy, what is the problem? Why are you doing this? But I don't know what you're talking about. We're just being family. We're just trying to help you. I don't understand. They do little things like you may be on the telephone. They have to contact you in reference to something. So the new supply makes sure that they say something in the background so you can hear them. Or the narcissist may have a conversation to make sure that you hear the new supply in the background. Or the narcissist may mention something about the new supply and, yeah, we this and we that, or accidentally pop her or him on the camera while you guys are talking. You know what? Gray rock, no contact, no reaction. That's how you take the fire out of that's how you take the fuel out of the fire. You have to learn to heal from that, where it becomes easier and easier, because in the beginning, of course, it's not going to be easy because some of this is traumatic. It just happened, and you're kind of caught off guard, but do know that everything that they do, especially when it comes to triangulation, is to cause chaos, confusion, strife, friction. You have some that, for example, they're in a conversation with you. Now, say that it could be a child. It could be one of your kids who is a narcissist. And they're connected to the narcissistic parent and you. And they may say things to you, have a conversation, and then you could tell that they're doing things and they're being spiteful in what they're doing and saying. And they're saying things to try to get you to, and it could be your friends or whatever, they're trying to get you to say things against that narcissist so that they can argue with you and then point you out and say something to you, which comes from the narcissist. So they're, you say something and then they argue with you as if you and them were married, and you're thinking like you're the kid or you're the friend. This is not even a conversation you and I are going to have. Yeah, it is, because I'm a grown woman, I'm a grown man, and it's time for us to have this conversation. You're thinking like, I didn't lay down with you to have you. Me and you ain't got no kids. We were not married. You're my child or you're my friend or you're whatever. But they'll do things to rev you up because that narcissist has pumped them up. And so they'll argue with you. So they're getting fuel off of the fact that this I was about to say side monkey, this flying monkey, and who is also triangulated, is arguing with you. And then you may say something, you get mad and you finally blurt out something. Guess what they do? They go back to that other narcissist, or they go back to the other person, and then they fuel and pump them up and start arguing with them and giving them information of what you said. So now y'all are arguing back and forth, and this triangulated person is or that narcissist could be in the middle of it, but that triangulated person is also in the middle of it. So it's just a mess. It is a hot mess, you guys. I mean, just confusion, friction, argument, stress, and really, for some of you guys, you have to watch that. It's that impulse control. You have an impulse to say something, an impulse to correct something, an impulse to defend yourself. All battles are not meant to be fought. All battles are not meant to be addressed. Some things you have to learn when to walk away. What was the song, you guys? You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You guys remember that song by The Gambler by Kenny Rogers? You guys remember that? There's some things, sometimes you have to learn when to fold the cards on and just walk away, and every fight is not meant for you to fight. The strongest person is the person that has self-control and know when not to get pulled into this vortex, get pulled into this storm, because that's what they want you to do. And they get frustrated when you gain strength and it doesn't work anymore. That's your greatest power, is when you gain strength, you start healing, and you stop reacting. You take the time. 12 to 24 hours is the rule that I use to think it through, get it all off the chest, get your emotions off your chest, and then say what you got to say. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me. I am Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Make sure you subscribe and share this channel. For some of you guys, I know that you can't really subscribe because you don't want anybody to see your name on there. So just like the channel. Like the channel, share the channel, you know, some way or another. And you can also find me on Facebook and on Instagram. I come on live on Sundays, usually about 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 11 Eastern Time. Make sure you check out my mother's channel. Her name is Helen Sadler, Your Destiny Helper on YouTube. Check out her channel, like her channel, share her channel. And you'll learn something from both of us, you know. Also, if those of you that are looking for coaching, you're welcome to contact me, Dr. Carmen Bryant at Outlook.com. Make sure you try to get in there because I fill up really quick. But it's Dr. Carmen Bryant at Outlook.com for coaching, and I'll provide you with my rates of services. Like I said, slots fill up really quick. So you guys make sure that you contact me. And if you're looking for counseling, I cannot provide counseling for those of you that are out of the state of Washington. I say it all the time, and people still email me and say, I need counseling. Where are you at? I'm on Mars. You know, I cannot provide you with counseling if you're outside the state of Washington. I can only provide you with coaching. And then once I do a consultation with you, it will also determine whether this is a counseling situation or a coaching situation. And I will refer you. You can go to betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen, and you can get a 10% discount for therapy. You find a therapist through betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen, and they will connect you with a therapist in your state that is licensed, and you can do it via telephone, I don't know, some kind of virtual face-to-face, but these are licensed professionals. You can ask them, do you understand what narcissist abuse is? Do you understand PTSD? Do you know what complex PTSD? Do you understand? Ask them the questions about the symptoms, and I guarantee you, you're going to find someone that fits you, that can help you as a counselor. Once again, I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have a wonderful day, and go be great.